chord melody for guitar composition. Last week I showed 3 different ways to start creating a guitar composition, a guitar piece, or any music for that matter. One was starting with a harmony, chords, the second with rhythm, the third with melody. And today I want to show you how you can combine 2 of them together, chord, melody. And the cool thing about this is that you already have everything in one go. So you can hear how the melody sounds like with the chords. So you can change the chords, you can change the melody. Everything is open. And I guess we can divide it to 3 different ways, right? You can start with the melody in a way, or let the melody lead the way. Start with the harmony, chords, and let it lead the way, and everything at the same time. I'm going to start with the easiest to make it fun and educational. So we're going to choose a chord progression. What I'm going to do is the Andalusian cadence. If you don't know it, it's basically the A minor, G, F, E, which is a common way to play Spanish music, flamenco and stuff like that. It's a common chord progression. And what we want to do is focus on chord tones, because that's the essential element of creating a chord melody, because this is how you interact between the 2 elements. So, for example, in A minor, I can choose one of the notes, and it's something, even if you don't know theory, it's just a note you see. Like, for example, the highest note, A, 5th fret, high E string. I'm playing the chord A minor. I'm having this note as a melody, and from that note I can play some notes around it and then go to the next chord, but being aware of the melody. And usually the classical traditional way of doing it is to keep the melody on top, and on top meaning usually the high E string, to make it simple. So from the A minor I've got this note, the next chord is G, and that's the note I want to target when we move on to the second chord, A minor, and then it fits. It's like a bridge that connects those 2 chords together. And the same thing for the next chord, F. You've got the note F, and the last one, E. So that's how it sounds like. And it's a melody, and it's a chord melody. And you can easily see the other options. For example, in A minor, in this specific way, by the way, the bar chord, or the smaller version of it when you're barring 3 strings. You can do the same thing on the B string. So I'm not going to play any melody on top, again, to keep this principle of separating the melody and the chords, so the melody is on top. So this is a note from the first chord, A minor. D is the next note in G. C is the next note in F, and then open B. And the same easy principle. Right, so you have 2 options to travel across the high E string, travel across the B string. Now I know what notes I need to play that will sound good. You know, this is the A minor, so natural notes, and sometimes we have a G sharp, which is the harmonic. I did another video on that, but yeah. But I want to experiment with something completely different, and let's see if it works. Okay, so again, we have the chord tones that we can target, this or this. And my claim is that it will sound good, or at least interesting, or at least in a way that makes sense, even if I'm going away from the key. Let me demonstrate. A bit weird, right? But makes a little bit of sense because there is some structure in the chaos. I'll be a little bit less experimental. So following the notes that I know will work well, but adding some extras that will give it that kind of edge or make it get more interesting and exciting. There's another note, right? There's a triad in every chord, and you can target. You can do the same thing on a G string, right? For this, you may want to play the whole chord from the 6th string. In classic, just sounds great. And you're just following the pattern, you're just following the chords. And my claim is that, or my argument is that you can do so much to make it original. You're limited because the chord progression this is a common one, so it will sound likable, familiar. But if you want to go away and be more original and experimental, we can do something different. So that something different can be the opposite. So I'm not going to start with a chord progression. I'm going to start with a chord and a melody, and then I'm going to let the melody lead the way. So I can start with the same chord, A minor, and decide I'm going to take that A note and travel with no specific direction, intention, just following the melody and where it can go. So I landed here, right? I landed on a note. What I can do, and that's the simplest way, is to understand which chord has this note in it. This is B. And for example, the chord E minor has that note in it. So that's a chord tone. So my chord melody would be. And then you're interacting with both elements, the melody and the chord. So you're starting to build a chord progression and a melody at the same time, which saves a lot of time. And it's the idea of, again, composing everything in one go. So then you can change it. If you don't like this chord, which other chord has this note? And now we can go away from chord tones like, oh, this is a kind of chord tone, it's a 7 of C major 7. Essentially, a chord tone is part of a chord, so anything going to play will be a chord tone. Could be, right? And if you like that sound, there's no reason why you shouldn't use it. I'm trying to come up with a chord. And then you can move between chords while keeping the melody. And this is the cool thing about shifting the roles. The melody can take the lead and the chords can play around it. And that sounds jazzy in the way I specifically played it, but also you can hear it a lot in jazz. Now, I'm not into jazz, but there are a few things you can learn from it, that specific principle. And if you use other chords, it will sound less jazzy. Okay, so a little bit of a different take on it. And sky's the limit. Now, if you like a chord, I'm going to go back to A minor and E minor, from A minor to E minor, and following the melody, stop at the note that I feel this is it for that specific melodic phrase, and have another chord. Traveling between keys even, and that's the beauty of it. You're not stuck. everything is open. You can travel if you feel like it. If you feel that, oh, I can move to B flat, or and so on. So then, as you experiment more and more, the line, the border between what is a melody and what is a chord gets more blurry. And that's where it becomes more organic. They're like one. It's not two elements that are combined together. I have a bit of fun and play a little bit more. And in this way, it becomes a little bit more jazzy. I really have no rules. I don't want to know what I'm playing. I want to surprise myself. I want the fingers to give me something I wasn't expecting. And this is noodling, but noodling in an intentional way where, first of all, I always recommend record it, and then something might happen. I mean, what I was trying to do now is recreate what I played before. I actually like what I played before. I don't remember. So I have to, this is recorded. I have to watch and understand. And I like this kind of combination of specific chords with a specific melody. I hope that was useful. Let me know. And feel free to comment if you have any comments, if you have any questions, if you have any requests on topics. I always love to share my takes and knowledge and ideas on solo guitar composition, how you can take this beautiful instrument as the whole composition tool, so you can just, again, play the elements, chord, melody, rhythm in one, and then we can separate it to other instruments or just keep it as solo guitar. Great music. Hope to see you next week.